Hey, everybody, you are in for a treat. Guess who is returning to join us? She is back.
Surprise!
Woo! With her pom pom, Shell Shapiro, our LinkedIn cheerleader. She says she's yours, but I think of her as our LinkedIn cheerleader. And I can say that to anybody who's on LinkedIn who got to see her post from about 10 days ago, which we'll have to tag in the chat someplace. Shell has a great post about why she's our LinkedIn cheerleader. For those of you who had not had the pleasure of seeing Shell Shapiro at Impossible Live before, Lachelle Atkins, America's Supermom, turns Lachelle turns people, and she especially turns Shell. Say that backwards. Time for a tongue twister.
I can, it's hard.
She turns Shell into a true gift from the universe. And here we are 2 years later in a new incarnation and with new exciting news and big steps. And I cannot thank her enough. This amazing woman is not only a dear friend, she's not only our LinkedIn cheerleader. We've got some news for you. And without further ado, let's give you a chance for those of you who have not had the pleasure yet of seeing her yet on LinkedIn, on Meta, on YouTube, or in LinkedIn Rockstar Academy. This is amazing, beautiful Shell.
Thank you. So honored to be here with you today. I really like your introduction, by the way. Like it was kind of like the your LinkedIn cheerleader, but our like LinkedIn cheerleader, and my brain immediately went to, well, it's kind of like the royal we. Like I'm the people's LinkedIn cheerleader. I was like, I could put my crown back on for a minute and be a little bit more royal right now. I like that. So thank you. And for anyone who has not yet hear me do my intro spiel, I'm Shel Shapiro, your LinkedIn cheerleader, our LinkedIn cheerleader, the people's LinkedIn cheerleader, and I get really excited to cheer people on. That's why I have my pom poms. I get really excited to cheer people on LinkedIn and encourage people to show up and to cultivate spaces that are safe, feel safe and authentic for you, where you can just thrive and be yourself and let those who need to find you have multiple ways to do that and have access to you in a way that feels really good for you at all times. So I'm really happy to be here. I'm excited about today's conversation. I'm going to direct it back to Mel so we can get this party going a little bit more.
For
I'm
those of
already chair
you,
dancing.
hey, I'm cheer dancing too, and Elijah Drown will be ecstatic. We are chair dancing together. Greatly, greatly appreciate this beautiful lady. Not just because of her extraordinary talents, not just because of the inspiration, and as I put it earlier, because we're pre recording, as I put it, because of her radiant energy, but extraordinary, extra special care that she brings to absolutely every situation. And you would also say, for those of us who are having a chance to really enjoy and get to know Shell better, she's got an extraordinary spirit. And we had the absolute pleasure of meeting in person finally last fall, with actually almost a winter, with Charlene Brown, brand misfit. And Charlene and Shell and I had lunch, which turned into what I call dinner. We fortunately had made an early enough reservation that when we were there into the dinner hour, they hadn't thrown us out yet. And Charlene will laugh because we spent most of that day on the road. And Charlene will also laugh because she has no idea what a pleasure it was picking her up, getting to meet her in person, and getting to meet amazing Shell. And what cracked me up was I just knew Charlene and Shell had met in person before. It's the real reminder sometimes with our online, right?
It feels like we've known each other for forever.
And it does. There's a magic to it, and I find it's interesting because years ago, in that process of building relationships online and during the pandemic, someone said to me, "These relationships aren't real." I said, "They're not real? You mean there's no foundation? Do you mean they're not solid? What do you mean they're not real?" And he said, "They're not real life." I said, "Oh, you mean you haven't had a chance or an opportunity yet to meet the person in real life?" And I laughed because he was somebody who I had met in real life, and that relationship never felt real to me. So I think sometimes, and I appreciate that, through the frame of spaces to emerge, you never know what relationships are coming out of conversations, whether on the blind date you're meeting the person who you're going to marry. or or who is going to become a family member, or just we don't know where it'll take us. And I think that's one of the cool parts. And Shell, I want to thank you for that gift of the knowledge and the experience. Because boy, we had only known each other, like hmm, a little bit over a year and a half. And yet it felt like there's a realness to it. I have to laugh. I won't call Howie out by his last name, but it is funny because he did say that during the pandemic. And I think that's one of the things that's interesting, whether we meet people in person, online, both live, hybrid. The real relationship, it definitely exists.
Yeah, and I've seen so many posts lately, people talking about how and I'm gonna liken this to LinkedIn mostly because that's where you and I met. Um, that's where I meet so many amazing people and have the opportunity to get to know them more deeply on and off the platform. I see so many people talking about how LinkedIn's not working right now. And it makes me so frustrated and sad and also hopeful for the person on the other side because they just don't know what possibilities and opportunities are just waiting to present themselves, waiting to emerge for them. If they only could cultivate their space in a way that felt good for them, then they would see those opportunities right in front of them. I've heard so many people say that LinkedIn's just not working. And it's for me that couldn't be farther from the truth because I've met some amazing women, men, sisters, brothers, people that I consider really, really close friends and confidants, supporters, coaches, people that I turn to, people that turn to me. Like there's just so much richness here to be had. And again, here being this LinkedIn space that Mel and I and so many others have met on, there there are endless possibilities and spaces to emerge. Uh, n- Sorry, not sorry for blending both of our titles together, the I'm Possible Live and the Spaces to Merge there. That just came out. Like it I didn't even try to do that on purpose. Um, but it sometimes it just works like that, right? Like there's so many good things here and I wish people would see what's right in front of them, see what spaces and what possibilities there are for them. And so it's another reason that I'm excited to have this conversation and to bring people spaces to emerge.
I love that. And not just as you say, because of the bridge, but part of it is to be in a space that hopefully is psychologically safe, that hopefully has what I like to call calls to welcome or calls to connect, where there's a seat for everyone, where someone could just pop in and join at whatever stage they're at whatever pace, whether they're experiencing it in person, whether they're experiencing it online, or some combination. Because I think that was one of the things that popped up when I first hosted uh, a hybrid retreat in 2018. I had 14 goals. that we achieved. I'm grateful for that because the checklist had 17. I didn't realize how big it was out there. And I've lost Shell, but Shell would say, keep going because that's what we do. And the thing is, we keep going as Shell's popping in and out to smell the roses. And that's something she really helps me do. And I'm saying it as we pre recorded this, but this is us. And it's the reminder, the comfort level to show up as we are, full texture. I'm laughing because Shell will be like, "Wow, what happened to my Wi-Fi today?" But I live really close to West Point, and we lose our Wi-Fi all the time. But whatever's happening today, as we're recording and trying to connect online, is very, very different. What you're going to laugh is that as my amazing dear friends and Coach Cheryl has reminded me, we keep going. We keep trying. We keep striving. We keep reaching, whether we're doing it alone, whether, and Shell would laugh. I'll have to tag Lori Ostrovsky because Lori popped out of our event. Then I popped out of our event. Then we ended up re recording the event. And it was funny, that event was live. But it's a real reminder, whether we're meeting in real life, whether we're meeting online, whether what's happening today is some sort of communications glitch in our universe, that regardless, we're really talking about spaces to emerge. And I mentioned before about my first retreat, and it was called Be Visible. It was kind of the launch. And now, as you'll see everywhere, and a lot more shortly, is that Mel is reemerging and realigning as Be Visible Solutions. It's been a dream since before Shell and I met. And maybe one of the reasons that Shell's popped out a little bit is a reminder, as she would say. I don't usually share that story, but I thank you for joining us and for listening today. The thing is, too, as Shell has temporarily left us for the second time, we're hoping, fingers crossed, that she's back with us shortly, because pre recorded means we could edit this out. So it just looks like magic, so that it looks like perfection and texture. But part of the reality is as we're showing up in real life, it's not perfect. As we're showing up online, it's not perfect. As we're mixing with both, it's not perfect. But the reminder there is to have the invitation. It's something amazing. Angie Alexander, we talk about it as sage energy. And whether we're doing it as leaders, whether we're doing it across cultures, across generations, across identities, across different shifts in a workplace, and some who are returning to the office, and some who are working from home or working remotely, or in hospitality. You may not see your colleagues until there's a team training, and they may be the voice on the phone that you have a chance to see. But what you're going to love is, because we pre recorded this, I'm going to pause for a hot, hot second shortly to check on Chell, who may have just, we've had some interesting record temperatures affecting our utilities and our communications, and Chell will pop back in shortly because that's what we do. One of the things that's interesting as we're about to introduce you to our concept of spaces to emerge is that years ago, when I had that first retreat, Be Visible, it was a hybrid retreat. I originally had another name for it. And Jeffrey Davis of Tracking Wonder had an amazing presentation. I had been following him on the internet for a while, and I finally had a chance to join him live. In the process of joining him live, he invited us to close our eyes for a little bit, imagine ourselves as a young child. For those in the mental fitness world, Reminds me of that sage image that either in that picture of our childhood that we're encouraged to share with members of our pods, or that image of us, that child who had a chance to feel really free, free of restrictions, free of judgment, free of limitations, full of dreams. And one of the things was his invitation in an exercise to find someone else in the room to communicate with and pick somebody we hadn't spoken to. And it was a big, wide open space, and we had brunch, and it was a kickoff of an all day event. And I was just there for a couple of sections. But that first kickoff, as he's encouraging us to speak to someone who we had met before, I see this beautiful woman with a gorgeous smile. And we said hi. So we ended up paired together. I, twice her age at the time, old enough to be her mama or her aunt. And in that sense, what was interesting was that Jeffrey Davis basically encouraged us to share one of the three things that we did as a child that we wish we could do if we could bring it into current life and into current work. What would that be? And the invitation that we both shared and we smiled and laughed together was that we both said we wanted to feel free. That feel free led me, uh, as I was driving home after the networking lunch, after this wonderful morning program, I had the opportunity to really think, because it was a really long drive up there. It was gorgeous, beautiful day. It was lucky, great weather, no traffic. And in New York, we really appreciate that. But I was in the town of Hudson, gorgeous, scenic drive back along the water and really peaceful. And I really thought about it. And the next day, I spoke to a dear friend who I was starting to work with on communications. And Peggy Elkins, Peggy was amazing. Peggy helped me, kind of process some of the ahas. I said, "Oh, I was planning a retreat, but after yesterday, I really want to change the name." She says, "What do you want to change it to?" And I want to change it to Be Visible, without two E's. And she smiled. She says, "Why B?" I said, "The letter B, to remind us to be present, to remind us to show up, to remind us to really think of how we got there." And I think the part about that was really stuck with me was Peggy said, "Well, what would it look like? You already have a retreat concept." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I need to rework it. I need to rework it around the word be visible." And because the universe is always there. So Shell, they got the story of Be Visible and Mill's first retreat and how it became the word Be Visible. People say later, "Oh, this is the stuff that's supposed to be in your origin posts." It's the stuff that's buried, the stories that we don't normally share. So beautiful Shell, now that you're back, and I'm toasting because I knew Shell would be back because that's what we do. And that's a saying from Tisha Florados of Olivia Travel, because
Well,
that's what we do.
now I'm back with the
Yeah. I'm not sure what's happening with Wi-Fi today, as Shell has disappeared again after our toast. So we were talking about Be Visible, and Peggy encouraged me to write about it. So I did write about it, and those became what I call the leaves of the Be Visible tree. Advancing that story past the pandemic, that's the origin of Be Visible with Mel. Be Visible with Mel will always be under my name. It's a reminder for the introvert to show up. And as Shell says, we're really patient with technology. And this is real because this is pre recorded. If nothing else, we're having a discussion about what's real, what's imaginary, what can you touch.
yeah, I'm happy to be back.
We're delighted to welcome you back. And every time Shell comes back, you'll notice we're going to raise a glass to remind us all to toast and hydrate and give thanks. And I'm going to stop talking for a bit because Shell's 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 got some news for us, and Shell's got amazing
And we
stories.
don't know
So
if I'm gonna get booted off again. Oh, I gotta tell it quick. All right. Well, the proverbial cat has been leashed out of we've soft launched a little bit a few weeks ago. I put out a poll gauging people's interest, and now the cat is officially out of the bag. We've got a Spaces to Emerge retreat coming at you this fall. We're not completely sure of the final dates just yet. We'll know that in the next week or so. But we are excited to bring you a live hybrid event so that way you have the option to join us in person. We're looking at some beautiful spaces in the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania adjacent areas. And if you want to join us virtually, you have that option too. Some events may be taking place simultaneously, so you'll have the opportunity to interact with live guests as well. But we've got a lot of stuff in the works for this. We're thinking like 4 days, but it's not 4 days like your typical retreat where it's like activity, 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 activity. No, we are specifically intentionally building in space for you to relax and enjoy, restore, rejuvenate, and to really like make it your own. So if you get in on a Friday night and you're like, I just need to settle in, I'm not gonna people this evening. I'll wait until tomorrow. You have the space to do that. If instead you arrive and you're like, okay, I want to get to that networking, I want to meet people, I want to schmooze, I want to see what's what, I want to feel out the grounds and get to know my space, come join us. We've got a variety of things that you can do or not, and it's totally up to you. But we are curating this with you specifically in mind, so that you get to choose what your retreat looks like. Yes, we will have some suggested things based on your human design type, your personality type, the way that you interact with other people and fascinate in the world. Um, but really like make it your own. So yeah, that's where the name Spaces to Emerge came from, because we really want you to make this your own space to thrive and cultivate, and what it's whatever it needs to be. And yeah, we're looking for people who want to be part of that with us. We've already got amazing people in mind. We've already reached out to a handful of people. We've already gauged some of your interest through that initial poll that we did a few weeks ago. And yeah, I'm just excited for more of the information to reveal itself so that we can share it with you.
da 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 da, as Shirley would say. What I think too, and Shirley was around for us doing some chair dancing during Hotness Unleasher show with Trevor and with Elijah Drown. And they're on a little pause right now. But we had a chance to kind of chair dance behind the scenes when the tech wasn't working correctly. What I love about what Shell said is it's an invitation to come join us, and an invitation to come join us on your timetable, on your schedule, whether you're joining us in person or you're just chillaxing or you're enjoying a spa element, a water element,
A
a
fire
coaching.
element.
Yep, we're thinking of it all, and I love the part behind it about human design because amazing coaches, and I hadn't really met a human design coach before my first Be Visible hybrid retreat. I'm really grateful to have met one shortly after. They had just introduced human design to me, and I couldn't grasp it. I'm like, why in the world would I pay attention to this? A business coach had brought it to me, didn't pay attention. A retreat coach brought me, didn't pay any attention. And finally, as you would say, third or fourth time was a charm because I learned human design is a great way to lean in from our intuition and into kind of a soul blueprint. You've heard Nicolene Hazinga talk about it during our lives. You've heard the amazing Gwen White talk about it during Impossible Lives. And for Shell and I, it's just I think it's another, you're gonna love this. I had everything on silent for a bit. It's a real reminder, as you would say, that life happens. And if you're going live and there's background sounds and it's a microwave, if it's a dog barking, if it's a doorbell, life happens. We really understand it. That's the alarm as we're pre-recording that usually goes off to remind me to show up live for disruptive business leadership. But I'm with Shell today, which is fabulous. I think Shell, in the process of talking about spaces to emerge, that one of the things, as Shell is pretty sure this is a StreamYard issue, and if it is, this is definitely a StreamYard integration issue. We're going to give a little more time as this beautiful woman is back and she's laughing. So, Shell, couple of things. We're going to make this a shorter version of Impossible Live because we've danced it out.
Because the universe is like, not
We've danced it
today.
out. And before they cut us off again, as Shell would say, and these virtual toasts, these are, I have my green drink later. Here's the water. Here's the iced coffee. I'm toasting you with two different beverages in the hopes that they let you stay longer than 2 minutes. Shell, let's talk about this link. Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, for anyone who is interested in learning more, hearing more about our Spaces to Emerge retreat as the details unfold and come together, if you want to know more about the location, so you can decide if, hey, like you're doing it in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, like count me in. If you're local to the area, we want to know that. If you are interested and willing to fly in, let us know that. If you're interested but only want to attend virtually, let us know that as well. We'd love to be able to keep you in the loop in real time without spamming you on a pretty consistent basis, but like with regular updates. We are roughly 10 to 12 weeks out from this event. We're aiming to have it in September or early November, trying to do it around a full moon. So, like, we really want to be intentional and we want to make sure that we have you in mind for it. So, if you're interested, of course, you can go to this link. There's a quick form to fill out so that we can, let you keep you in the know.
Couple of things too. This is also an inclusive event, co-ed, global. And in the sense that there are opportunities for you to create spaces to emerge within the retreat and outside of the retreat. Bring a family member, bring a friend, bring a hangout partner, bring somebody else who just maybe needs a break. Somebody, a cool travel buddy. Reconnect with somebody that you've met online and you haven't had an opportunity to meet yet. And if you're not sure of who to bring, know when you come. We're creating a really curated space where we'll introduce you to who you need to know. And know that they'll be in the room. Know that they'll be in the space. Know that if you're online, you'll have an opportunity to meet with live attendees during any segment where you're volunteering. We'll create a community container for those conversations. You may also see us have a Spaces to Emerge open house or a Spaces to Emerge Q&A where you can ask questions. We may create an online space to discover a little more about maybe your food preferences or your activity levels, or we might ask you what your favorite color is. And I love what Chell was saying about fascination, because one thing that we found in, besides talking about LinkedIn and human design, how to fascinate before I got certified in trust. That was the first fascination advantages. I almost got certified in years ago. Very grateful to Sally Hogshead. And in our conversations, Shell and I found some overlaps. So Sally Hogshead has a really cool how the world sees you. how the world finds you captivating, whether it's for you personally or for your business. And we're going to include that elements of curiosity and discovery because there's 7 cool languages or advantages that we can learn to share and speak with each other throughout our Spaces to Emerge events. And we're hoping this is going to be a series. When we first were thinking about it, we are thinking about doing it in August and in Seattle area. And I was ready. Shell would laugh because my cousin was in Seattle and he says, I'm not feeling too well. I really wanted to come and join those gifts. And what Shell will laugh is, as life happens, my cousin now has relocated to Oceanside, California, because he's hoping for a kidney transplant. So, it's really funny. We will get to Seattle because it's a beautiful area. And I'm looking for that Alaska cruise, Shell. We won't make that necessarily an entire Spaces to Emerge event, but it'll be a lead in. But we're thinking about ways to take this on the road to bring it closer to you, possibly in the series. So, really curating it and finding out what is important to you, what elements are important to you, what ingredients are important to you, whether your activity level includes a spa, sleeping in. We're not planning to be up at midnight dancing outside. If you do, that's your choice because there's a bonfire or a fire pit sometime, or you just wanna you're just ready to party and chair dance.
Yeah.
But Shell,
And
woo,
and when Mel says you, she doesn't mean me. She means us. She means you in the audience. Like she and I have already had these conversations. She already knows my answers and preferences, but she's
as Shell is obviously, and this is why you'll laugh, human design is an energy energy system, just like trust is an emotion that is behind Spaces to Emerge. Shell will say, I Pop Tarts.
is it only when I speak?
I what I learned before is, and I'll have to say this from the perspective of you being the LinkedIn cheerleader. Today, in the process of introducing Spaces to Emerge, you reminded me of the stories that I haven't shared
I'm
about.
busting off this screen apparently. LinkedIn and StreamYard can't hold me. Can't contain me.
I was talking about Shell's radiant energies. This is popping off the screen. The
So
universe is
much
like,
so that they can't handle it.
so this is why we want to do this around a moon, a little lunar. You'll notice in some of my posts, I talk about, energies of a full moon. We're creating a space where hopefully spaces where hopefully you won't howl at the moon. But Shell, yep, this is your pop off radiant energy that I was talking about today. Exactly.
And it just goes back to the beginning of the conversation too, where we were talking about how we first met in real life not too long ago. And really like we want to do that with you guys. We want to do that with so many more people, and Spaces to Emerge is our opportunity to create that to bring more people together. So yeah, I'm here for it. Are you guys here for it? I hope you are.
We definitely are. Wait till you see this beautiful logo that Shell has designed to help us dream about spaces where we can emerge or where we can fly. And I
You want
think
to show
that's,
the people? You want to show the people? You want to bust that out?
I would love to, but we learned when I busted out, boy, does it mess with where we are. So I'm gonna bust it out, and we're probably gonna have to say small little talking heads, Shell. Since can we do this the small talking heads on Impossible Live? We're gonna we're gonna toast and hope that the text survives. We have already tested the levels of the internet today. Yes, here's Shell's beautiful creation.
So can't you just picture that butterfly just flapping its wings? I hear a bird chirping in the background too, so it's giving me like butterfly emerging from a cocoon vibes anyway.
I have a tendency to attract chirping birds, and we had a hummingbird once join us during Impossible Live. And as Shell says this is happening again. There is no accident. This is an encouragement or an invitation that sometimes there are stories that we don't normally share. And as part of revealing, as part of revealing spaces to emerge,
This is gonna be
telling
the
the universe,
weirdest recording ever. Sorry, not sorry.
well, you're gonna laugh because Carla's gonna have fun when she looks at this. Carla's gonna say, "This is the most interesting transcript I've ever seen." And as
She's
Shel would
here.
say, this
She's
is
not here.
probably
She's here. She's not here. I promise
it's
I'm
an
here. I've been
it's
here
an
the whole time.
interesting, yep, it's an interesting opportunity. It's an interesting opportunity for for uh for and us to just check out and hang out and just share dance and celebrate life. I find it interesting too because with all the tech and we smile. um I laugh, and someone's sending me on tech a reminder. They're like, "Didn't I send you a link to join me for a call today?" And they sent an invitation, but they never sent a link. And I think it's funny because, as we say in Spaces to Emerge, you will never be late. You'll be there at the right time. You'll be there when the time is right for you, when you select. You know, yep, it will work. It will work. Yep. Shell, before we get kicked out again, anything exciting that you want to leave others with?
I'm what could be more exciting than this? It is some our something our baby that we have been nurturing and noodling on for over a year now. I'm excited that this is finally happening. And I really I'm excited to see who else is excited about it.
I am too.
Frankly, clearly, I think you've seen today, the screen cannot contain my excitement. That's how excited I am about it. So, I mean, there's not really much more that I can say because I know if I keep talking, bloop, I'm gonna pop off the screen again.
Well, where are your pom poms? Jay will ask, "Where are your pom poms?"
They've been here the whole time too, right in front of me.
So I have not had a chance to see Shell's pom poms in person yet. We will
You notice
encourage
that
you.
these Washington adjacent pom poms, because these are my while I'm in Washington, these are my Washington ones. The teal matches that of the butterfly and the spaces of the logo, which
Yep.
also comes from Melanie's other I'm Possible Live and Ignite Trust colors. We are very harmonious in that regard.
We love some teal. So, there may be an event where there's a teal prize. It may be a teal party. We'll figure out what it looks like. There may be, and I was reminded last week in disruptive business leadership that we should have ice cream socials and opportunities just to connect. So no, wherever we connect, as soon as the venues are able to confirm which is the proper choice for us to launch spaces to emerge with you in person live in a place with hopefully fantastic Wi-Fi and fabulous indoor and outdoor spaces. Shell, anything else we should leave our amazing guests with?
As always, look up, look down, look left, look right. You did it. You took the logo off. Okay, success. Look all around the space, and even as we have pre-recorded this for you, you are live watching it or you're watching the replay, and you can certainly look at who else's comments are in the space or who else was interested in joining today and tuning in. Pay attention to that. Look at who else is part of the conversation and see if maybe there is a conversation that you want to have with one or more of those people. This is your opportunity to reach out and have more of the conversations that matter to you. And that's part of the juicy stuff that I also get excited about on LinkedIn is bringing more people together and seeing what conversations can be born from that. So make sure to check out who else is in the space with you today.
Definitely. And for those who have not had the chance of meeting beautiful Chelle yet, live in person, online, in Technicolor, if you haven't had the opportunity yet, please, as Chelle would say, look right, look left. Who else is in this space? Let me not do the Chelle part. I love when Chelle does it. So Chelle, let me let you bring it. Let me let you bring it.
Let me do it again. Okay. Y'all, we used to do this in audio rooms, and so it made more sense as you were looking around the screen. But please look up, look down, look left, look right. Check out the event page, look at the networking tab, check out the comments, see who is having these conversations, who is here, who is present in the moment with you. Go have more of the conversations that you want to have, connect with people, network, make a plan to have a conversation, and then execute on it. I love a person who takes action on things. So yeah, until then, I mean, I'm excited for the next conversation and more details on spaces to emerge.
And with transparency, with vulnerability, it will be our honor to welcome you into spaces to emerge at whatever speed you're operating at. And really, all are welcome. Kind, wonderful humans, come hang out and join us. And we'll turn the virtual toasts, some of them into in person toasts. When you have a chance, stay safe, stay cool, stay well, stay inspired, stay in touch. And the stay cool is for those experiencing these unusual national temperatures we've been having recently. And regardless, we want to thank you for popping in for Impossible Live Spaces to Emerge, pre recorded as we are live when you're viewing this on LinkedIn and on Meta and eventually on YouTube. Stay safe, everybody, and stay in touch and invite someone to pop in and join us in between our possible lives and let us know where you're from and how we can help you. Have a magnificent day. Take great care. Be well.